Lesson 37, we have a new pranayama, which is described in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika chapter 2, starting from Sutra 54. Then Sitkari is described. Make a hissing sound with the mouth and release only through the nostril. By the yoga consisting of repeated practice of this, one becomes a second god of beauty, or Kamadeva. The mouth here is not the physical mouth, but is the cosmic mouth, which is in the Chandra Bindu, the moon gate. The hissing sound is not a sound that you produce like many people do when they do this as a breath control exercise, but it's a sound of nada. When you accelerate inflow of Shiva energy, nada becomes louder. This is a phenomenon that you notice when you're very tired, for example. At the end of the day, after a long day of hard work, for example, you come home, you put away your bag or bags, and the first thing you want to do is just sit down and buzz out. That buzz is nada. It's because you're exhausted from the long day of work. Your body needs lots of Shiva energy to recover. So it starts absorbing large amounts of Shiva energy, and that causes the buzzing out. And you just want to stare at the ceiling or the wall for a little while doing so. The same thing happens when you are sick. When you are sick, if you pay attention, nada is very loud. Because when you're sick, your body needs lots of Shiva energy to help you recover from your disease. So that is the hissing sound. When you accelerate the inflow of nada, which is the message here, Sitkari starts with the inflow of nada. You hear nada becoming louder. Then you release only through the nostril. The nostril here refers to Surya Bindu, because the energy isn't specified here, so it is the Shiva energy that you took in and you then let out through Surya Bindu. The sutra ends saying, by doing this, you become a second god of beauty. What does that mean? That is because Shiva energy is responsible for regeneration of cells. People who look worn out, people who look old and tired while not being old, is because they wear themselves out. Oxidation occurs when we exhaust ourselves and not give ourselves sufficient amounts of rest to recover. But also there are certain habits that can lead to oxidation: smoking, drinking, drug use, having lots of stress and worries and doubts that leads to wearing out, literally wearing out of our physical body. What we need as an antioxidant is Shiva energy. And so, when we regenerate, we don't look so worn out anymore. You become a second god of beauty. You start to look good again, healthy again, radiant is what it means. Sutra 55 elaborates on that, builds on that, saying, he becomes object of high regard among the circles of yoginis. You can replace he with she and yoginis with yogis. You become an object of high regard among other people. You're able to create and destroy. Neither hunger nor thirst, somnolence nor indolence arise in you. Now, being able to create and destroy, if you look at traditional spiritual drawings, you see gods destroying things with fire and violence and what have you. That is all symbolism. What the meaning here is very subtle. You have learned pranayama, and the first two exercises were designed to increase Shakti energy. The first one is designed to deal with infectious diseases. The second one was designed, Ujjayi Pranayama was designed to deal with all diseases related to a lack of both energies, Shiva and Shakti. Here you have an exercise that is dealing with diseases or problems that we are dealing with as a result from a lack of Shiva. Being able to create and destroy sounds very dramatic, but creation is what Shiva does. Shiva energy leads to multiplication of cells. It leads to recovery. Well, Shakti energy leads to oxidation if we don't control it. That's why people who are always busy look older than they are and become worn out. That is the destruction that is meant here. So being able to create and destroy is simply meaning you have learned energy control. So if you take control, you will be able to increase Shiva energy, which creates, increase Shakti energy, which destroys, at will, depending on what you intuitively feel you need, based on your needs. Sutra 56. Strength of body is gained by this practice, and the Lord of Yogins becomes surely free of afflictions of every kind on this earthly sphere. And that concludes Sitkari Pranayama. So Sitkari Pranayama is done by taking Shiva energy in, counting to 20, Kumbhaka counting to 80, and then letting Shiva energy out, followed by another Kumbhaka counting to 80, and letting Shiva out counting to 40. So Shiva in, Kumbhaka, Shiva out, Kumbhaka. Questions? Okay.